place.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Gene and Debbie would like to thank you for another successful year of business. We also want to wish everybody a safe, healthy, and prosperous 2016. We are ready to be of service with our pasture mowing. 352-629-2440. Locally owned and operated, experienced and reliable, commercial and residential, licensed and insured. Powell Gene, Gene at yahoo.com. 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. 352-629-2440.
All right, 26 minutes before 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this very cold Thursday morning. 30 degrees right now. Can you believe it? 30 degrees. This is why you moved to Florida.
Exactly.
So you can have these nice, warm mornings. You know, I remember when I first moved here, I lived not too far from a lake. It was Lake, what was it? Lake Bono, Lake Tiger Lake. I'm not really sure which one it was. But anyway, I went down there with the dog, and it was a very cold morning, just like this.
Wow.
And I picked up a rock on the edge of the water, and believe it or not, under the rock was a snake, just curled up, just
Oh my gosh.
just sleeping or something. It didn't move at all. I have no idea what kind. I don't know a snake from a worm. I don't know, but it was a snake. Trust me. I mean, I don't know what kind of snake it was. All right, so that wasn't really my backyard, literally, but it was just down the road. I mean, it could have been. Remember, there was a story the other day about a kid in Animal Kingdom in Disney World, and a snake fell on him.
Yeah.
Remember? And it was not a Disney snake, and that's not ours. We just happen to live in a place where snakes live.
That's right.
It happens.
Only Disney snakes allowed here.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't one of the
sign.
Dr. William Banner Jr. is on the phone. He's the medical director of the Oklahoma Poison Control Center and he is a clinical professor of pharmacy at the University of Oklahoma College of Pharmacy in Oklahoma City. Some of the hazards in our backyards is what he wants to talk to us about, including snakes.
I know.
Including snakes. The way I say that indicates that I might be afraid of them a little bit.
I have to be respectful of snakes.
Respectful.
Yeah, you do.
Dr. Banner, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning to you guys.
Are you cold? Where are you?
We're warmer than you are. It's 41 degrees in Oklahoma City.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? The world turned upside down, I think. I don't know what happened.
It did.
So, we have, I mean, are snakes everywhere, or is this a southern thing?
Pretty much in the 48 local states of the United States, we have snakes everywhere. There are a lot more of them in the southern United States, and Florida gets certainly its share. We get about 5,000 venomous bites per year. So it's a real problem all around the United States, but we're particularly Oklahoma and Florida. We've really got to pay attention as these days start to warm up. They're going to get more and more active and come out of hibernation. So it's time to start thinking about them.
I know. And I'm trying to walk more, and we have these beautiful state parks around here. And, every time I walk in the state parks, I think, okay, there's got to be a snake somewhere around here. I haven't seen one yet, but...
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I stay on the trail.
And that is why you stay on the trail. Don't put your hands or your feet where you can't see, and don't wear flip-flops. Get some boots on, wear some long pants, even when it's hot, but really don't step right over a log where you can't see, and avoid sticking your hands into crevices and places like that, trying to fish something out. If you drop a quarter, leave it there. Don't reach into the bushes to try to get it back.
What about $1? Do we?
You've got to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, I had heard that while walking, if you're walking on a trail and you have to step over a log, you should step onto it first, and then that'll startle the snake, and then you can safely pass by. Is that true?
I think that's a good way to look at it. Yes, don't step where you can't see. Step up where you can see, and then look down. So, yeah, being aware of what their habits are, and that they're not trying to get to you. So, but they are looking for prey. So,
so
they're going to be out pretty soon.
So, what do you do? What is your recommendation if you do get bit?
Nowadays, we don't go for any of the cowboy remedies. We recommend that if you're doing well, proceed directly to the hospital. If you have any issues, you call 911. You can always call your poison control center. Florida has an excellent system of poison control centers, and get help, but get to the hospital. The hospital has excellent treatments now for venomous snake bites. The anti-venom is very effective, and so the most important thing to do is to get there, let them assess you. No first aid, cutting, and doing all that.
Don't do any of that stuff. Huh?
And sucking out the venom and stuff like you see in the movies.
How long? I know there's 100 jokes. How long do you have? Like or I guess it depends on the snake, huh? But how? I mean, could you die like right away?
There are some very rare case reports where people die very, very quickly, but mostly you have some time. That doesn't mean you should try to assess whether it's going to get worse. Things can be going on that you can't see, interfering with your clotting in your blood, so you can have bleeding problems. It is very time dependent. So don't try to make your own decisions. Go to the hospital. The hospital, if they have questions, because any one hospital may not see that many snake bites, but the poison control centers in your area, they've got Crofab, which is the anti-venom, available, know where it is, and they can help all the physicians in your state and how to administer it safely and what to do.
Do snakes ever retreat? Like if you're walking on a trail, like my brother has 10 acres and then he's got dogs. If those dogs saw like a rattlesnake and they start barking at the rattlesnake, does the snake go away or do they automatically try to attack?
It just depends on what they perceive as the threat. Many of them will withdraw. Some of them, like
Uh-oh. What happened?
more territorial.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so they're territorial then.
Yes, some of the snakes do have they will protect their territory, but most snakes will withdraw if they can see a clear path to get away.
Are you familiar with an attraction in our area called Silver Springs? Oh, I think your line is breaking up. Are you there? Doctor? Something got unplugged. Did you hear it? It sounded like something got unplugged?
I did.
That was not on our end, I don't think.
No.
I think he's gone.
No, he's still
Well,
the light's still on.
anyway, we all know Silver Springs. So I went to Silver Springs one time, and I mean, when it was in the...
They're calling back, I guess.
Oy, oy, oy.
There we go.
Oy, oy, oy. Doctor, is that you?
Yeah, I'm latching you.
Okay. You're latching me.
Watching.
Watching or latching?
Hello, Larry.
Hello.
Hello.
What happened? Did you get bit?
I don't know.
Did you get bit?
Sunspot.
Do you know what? I started to ask you something. We have an attraction here. It's now a state park, but it used to be a tourist attraction, and they had a reptile exhibit. In fact, there was a very well-known specialist, Ross Allen was his name, right? And I remember as a kid going there, and he asked the audience, you know, we would sit in bleachers, and he would do these things where we milk a snake and stuff. He said, how many of you think a rattlesnake is poisonous? And everybody raised their hands. And he said, you're all wrong. And of course, we were thinking, oh, come on, we all know a rattlesnake is poison. But he was basically, it was a word game for him. He would say they're venomous because you can eat a rattlesnake.
Yeah, that's correct. You know, they carry the venom, and a lot of research has been done on why they don't get poisoned by their own venom. There's a lot of very unique biology involved, but that is a very specialized mechanism they have in their fangs to deliver venom and not become poisoned themselves.
Isn't that amazing? It's really amazing if you think about it. What about the other things that we might get bit by, like the spiders?
Well, there are a few spiders in North America that are a problem. Obviously, the black widow spider is well known, and the fiddleback spiders, or Loxosceles we call them, they can cause a real terrible damage to you. As a matter of fact, there are several spiders that can cause damage to your skin, but the fiddleback spider is probably the worst one in terms of causing you to have bleeding problems.
Really? Really?
Like that, yes.
Is there a season for snake babies, or do they just lay their eggs all year round?
Oh, no, they're definitely, snake bite is a summertime phenomenon, and their temperature goes up and down with their environment. So as you said, you're probably reasonably safe today, but as it warms up in Florida, the activity is going to go way up, and you're going to be at much more risk.
Oh, okay.
So is the same rule of thumb true if you get bit by a scorpion or a spider or something like that? Do we call 911?
Scorpion stings, for the most part, outside of Arizona, they hurt, but they usually don't cause a lot of systemic damage. Probably in that case, it's reasonable to call the Poison Control Center and get advice rather than calling 911, since you're unlikely to have to be transported to the emergency room. So the Poison Control Center can help you with other venomous bites. But snake bites particularly, you can call the Poison Center, but they're probably going to recommend that you go immediately to some sort of healthcare facility.
We have a lot of rivers and lakes here in our area, and we hear about cottonmouth snakes. Do they generally stay away from people, or are they aggressive?
They can come at you. You know, I've heard of people that were in duck blinds and things like that encountering the water moccasin. We have a lot of those here in Oklahoma. They're not one of the more common envenomations we get for some reason, but certainly they can pack a wallop. They don't seem to do quite as much damage as the big rattlesnakes.
Oh,
in
that's
your
good.
area, the eastern diamondback and some of the pygmy rattlesnakes that you have would be more of a concern. Copperheads are very, very common everywhere in the southern United States.
We're just about out of time, Doctor. Could you leave us with a website or a way to find out the phone numbers for the Poison Control Center?
Poison Control Center is very, very easy. It's 800-222-1222, and you know that takes you directly to your regional poison center. You've got several in Florida, and so you can quick access. There's a website, www.crofab.com, that has a lot of very useful information. But for management of an acute problem, call your Poison Control Center.
Okay, that's CROFAB. C as in cat, right? CROF as in Frank. CROFAB.com. Dr. Banner, thank you so much. I'm going to stay indoors today, I think. Thank you, Doctor.
Sure, thank you, guys.
All right, we'll be right back.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Have you heard of Hyperdirectory? When looking for local businesses, go to hyper.directory. No need for www, no need for .com, just hyper.directory, connecting customers to local companies